good morning, good afternoon, whatever time it is for those watching at this time. Now, remember, this video is timeless, so anytime that it finds you is the right time for it to find you. Okay, I am doing this video live, so if you are watching the replay, please bear with me as people jump on. There is a little bit of information that we are going to have to learn in the beginning of this video before we get to the pick a card message, okay? Because I am going to be mixing some things in this video from my ancestral practices and some modern Eastern practices. So I am going to have to explain that before we get into the video. So, excuse me. Okay. So, for many of you who have been watching me for a while, you know that I grew up in the 21 Divisions Voodoo. And in 21 Divisions Voodoo, there's a lot of healing practices that are associated. Okay? And there's a lot of healing practices in Voodoo. Usually our healing practices in Voodoo have to do with plant spirits, crystal spirits, with earthly spirits that have to do with the ancestral realm. Okay, Voodoo is very, very, very embedded in the ancestral realm. It's very embedded in the spirit realm. Now, I grew up in 21 Divisions Voodoo, but like I've said before in previous videos, I've also studied some other spiritual practices. And this video is going to is me sharing with you a little bit of the links that I have found between Voodoo and other spiritual practices, which I want to share with you, which have helped me heal. Well, I haven't healed, but have helped me aid thousands of people in their healing. And I want to share this with you today. So if you don't like Voodoo mixed with anything else, then don't watch this video. But if you would like to expand your consciousness and learn a little bit more about how you can heal with the understanding the links between Voodoo and other Eastern spiritual practices, then by all means watch this video. Okay. Now, Eastern spirituality tells us that we have Eastern science, Eastern spirituality, Eastern medicine talks to us about the fact that we have 7 main energy centers. And in these 7 main energy centers, are fed by other energy centers in our aura and fed by other energy centers outside of ourselves. This is very similar to the belief in Voodoo of sympathetic magic, where if you can connect somebody's energy to an item by pulling on their energy and by knowing their name, their information, their picture. Because we can manipulate if you know how to manipulate energy, you can manipulate the energy around you. Okay? So now like I said, Eastern medicine, Eastern spirituality talks about the 7 energy centers that are the main 7 energy centers in the physical body. I have studied this with my spirits because I was guided to study it with spirit, because they told me later on it's going to play a part in how you're going to help people heal. And it's also, in this video, I'm also going to be talking about the Loa that have helped me with people's healing in these different energy centers. Now, for those of you who are not aware of what the energy centers are, I'm going to go over them really quickly. We have an energy center known as the root, which starts at the feet and goes at the base of the spine. The root is the energy center, ruled by Earth. And it is the root of our survival, as well as ancestral connection, all of that. So when people say you have to raise your vibration, what they're talking about is raising your vibration to be at a higher vibration in your body so that you can emit a higher vibration into the world, okay? Because each one of these energy centers has a different vibration. And with each vibration, the less you suffer, the less and less you suffer. In Voodoo, in 21 Divisions, we're working with spirits, the ancestral realm. The ancestral realm is actually the lowest vibration out of all of them. That doesn't mean it's evil. It just means it's the lowest vibration. It's like the one closest to a third dimensional person who is asleep. So in Voodoo, the root spirits, the ancestral realm, is very important, but it is technically the lowest consciousness vibration. because it's very earth-based. It's very grounded in earth. So there is different levels, and it's believed that the higher you get in these levels, the closer to God you get. Okay, God being the crown, the divine connection up here. Okay. Now, the root, like I said, is connected to the ancestral realm. It's connected to the idea of survival. Okay, survival, but it's blocked by fear. And in our case, for those of us who have ancestry that experienced slavery, our ancestors are still stuck in that fear of that survival. So in the people of color community, we have a lot of survival issues. We have a lot, our bodies are stuck in survival mode, which is where you get things like angry black woman syndrome, where you get things like us being angry and violent towards one another, and being envious and jealous of people shining their light, or feeling like we've been robbed. That is because we as a people of color society are stuck in survival mode. Okay, and that is because we still have spirits in the ancestral realm who still need elevation through the other energy centers, because they were forced into suffering, right? They were put into a very serious suffering situation. So because of that, there are still spirits that are stuck in that space. Now, before slavery happened, there were other loa, right, that were very much worked with, and those loa belong to higher energy centers, and why you have to be at a higher vibration to be able to connect with those particular loa. Okay, and why certain loa are put with certain people depending on what energy center that they were meant to work with the most in this lifetime. And that kind of comes a little bit from human design and the tree of life, based on like what energy centers you are supposed to actually work with. You have a loa placed with you, which is what I have noticed in my study, okay, in my interactions with the loa. This is not what is believed traditionally in voodoo. Because why? Because voodoo has been very stuck in, for a very long time, survival mode. Okay, if you look at places like Haiti and Dominican Republic and Jamaica, it has been stuck in survival mode. It has not been allowed to evolve because of the suppression of people of color. Okay, and that is why we have, to this day, we have people who are doing voodoo who are very stuck in only doing the evil parts of voodoo, and not wanting to do the healing aspects of voodoo, or not wanting to focus on the good things that voodoo can do for you. Okay, and that's perfectly understandable, and people can disagree with me all they want on this video, but what I'm trying to explain to you is that a lot of people who perpetuate voodoo being evil are stuck in their lower vibrational chakra centers, are stuck in their lower vibrational energy centers, and their ancestors still haven't healed, so therefore they aren't healing, and then they haven't healed their ancestors, so therefore their ancestors haven't healed. So it's a vicious cycle that a lot of people of color get stuck in, myself included, my family included. So that's where we have evil eye, soul lost. That's why we have anger, violence, because we are stuck in the lower vibrational energy centers of our body. A lot of us are still stuck in the root. Our ancestors haven't healed. Our ancestral spirits haven't healed, so they haven't even had a chance to fully be able to evolve all of their energy centers and be able to cross over to the other side. Yesterday, Gadelimbo came to me and told me that he has so many people that are still stuck in limbo in the ancestral realm because they have not been able to heal, and they are waiting for somebody to be able to heal them in their bloodline. So the energy center of the root is the energy center of survival. It's ruled by earth, and it is blocked by fear, suffering, and trauma. And that is where a lot of people of color like us are stuck in. Okay, that is what I want you guys to understand, that there are things that are perpetuated in the media about voodoo, and most of the people who are out there perpetuating the evil of voodoo, like selling people's souls and shit like that, are people who themselves and their ancestors are still stuck in the lower energy centers. But there are many people in voodoo who are no longer stuck there because they chose to heal, they chose to elevate, and they're choosing to work with loa and beings that are elevated, and that are beings that can help you prosper and grow. I have a very prosperous life thanks to these loa. Okay, The sacral energy center is the energy is the energy center that is in our sex organs. Our sex organs is ruled by water, and these energy centers, and I'm going to be talking about the different type of loa that are associated with these different energy centers. The sacral energy center are ruled by the loa of the dead, of the cemetery. So beings like the barons, the baronesses, the guedeses, the guedelias, the Taíno sweet water spirits, they are in the sacral center because they are the ones that rule the waters of creation in the cemetery, the transition between the living and the dead. Okay, so when you're looking at voodoo, the barons, the guede, the baronesses, the guedelias, the Taíno sweet water spirits, they are in the sacral. They are in water. They are ruled by water. They're in the sacral energy center, having to do with the reproductive organs. And this energy center is ruled by pleasure. And our life is meant to be pleasurable. But when do we not have pleasure? We don't have pleasure when we are blocked by guilt. Okay? So this energy center is blocked by guilt. This energy center is blocked by guilt. It's blocked by sexual trauma. A lot of the biggest issues in people of color community is sexual trauma. Okay, sexual trauma. What happens a lot? This happens a lot, whether people want to talk about it or not. A lot of sexually inappropriate things. What happened to a lot of our ancestors? They were sexually assaulted. So we are still carrying that sexual trauma from many years ago. Our ancestors are still carrying it, and they passed it on to us. And if we don't do the work to heal it through the waters, okay, so water spirits are also embedded here. So beings like Yemaya, the mermaid spirits, all those water spirits are in that sacral energy, and that is supposed to provide us with pleasure, with everything that brings us pleasure in life, everything that brings us happiness and enjoyment in life, is blocked by guilt. It's blocked by guilt. It's blocked by sexual trauma. It's blocked by things that get swept under the rug, all those kinds of things, and especially in the people of color community. But this chakra is this chakra energy center. Chakra just means energy center, of pool of energy in Eastern spirituality. Is when we look at voodoo, and we look at 21 divisions, the beings that can really help with that energy and healing that energy, which have really helped me heal that energy, are the barons, the baronesses, the guedelias, the guedeses, the Taíno sweetwater spirits, the water spirits like Yemaya, and the mermaid spirits. Those are the spirits that kind of help to heal that energy center. Okay. Now, as we move up the body, that energy center is also the first part of our magical core. So those of us who have magical abilities, spiritual abilities, our magical core starts in the sacral. Actually, it starts in the root, but it lives in the sacral and the solar. In the solar plexus, which is in the stomach, the intestinal digestive area. Okay? So the sacral is ruled by fire, and it is the root of our willpower. It is the root of our ability to do things, to make things happen, to be able to move forward, to be able to take steps forward with courage. Okay, now this energy center, like I said, is ruled by willpower. So if you have this energy center blocked, which is usually blocked by shame, what happens in the people of color community? Every single time somebody tries to get out of a bad situation, they get shamed. Every single time someone tries to do better, a lot of the times you get shamed in the people of color community, and that is because our community as a whole is blocked in every one of these energy centers, because we have been pit against each other by people who wanted us to look at ourselves as less than. Okay, so when you are in, and this is not just people of color anymore, now we are even talking about all peoples in our society currently. You know, people in the government, people who are multimillionaires, they want us to look at ourselves as less than, right? Even people in our own community want us to look at ourselves as less than. So whenever somebody has the willpower to try to get out of a toxic cycle, a lot of the times they get shamed. And they get shamed by the people closest to them. Okay, and that is because the society as a whole has a big, huge block in the solar plexus, in the ability, in the willpower area, which has to do with the stomach and with the digestive organs. That's another reason why fast food places are placed in low-income communities, because fast food places, they're not real food. They want to destroy your solar plexus so that you don't have a way to get out of enslavement. They want you in a low vibration so that you are dependent on them, on whatever they are willing to give you. Okay? Beings that can help heal this area of the solar plexus are beings like Anaïs Appiah. Okay, Anaïs Appiah is a vibration of willpower. For those who practice Egyptian spirituality, Sekhmet, right? If those of you who work with angels, beings that can help with this are the archangel Ariel. The archangel, this archangel can help you with that. But also, if we talk back more about voodoo, the spirits that live in the solar plexus are the Petro spirits, the fire spirits, because the solar plexus are the spirits that have to do with willpower and the ability to get things done. So Petro spirits like Papa Candelo, Esilidanto, Anaïs Appiah, these are the willpower beings. These are the beings that can help you move forward. So praying to these beings can assist you in moving forward, okay? Because they are the rulers of the solar plexus. They are the willpower rulers in voodoo, okay? So this is information that I usually only would share with my initiates, but I want to share this with the collective because I'm tired of seeing so many people not healing because they think that there is no correlation between Eastern spiritual practices and voodoo has to evolve. It is meant to evolve. I was put here as one of the people that is meant to evolve voodoo, because voodoo is not just ancestral spirit work. It is not just working with voodoo spirits. It is a healing practice as well. It is a practice that's supposed to bring healing, peace, prosperity, all of that. But we are never going to rise up if we don't realize that there is healing that has to happen within our bodies. There has to be evolution. We cannot just keep doing work to get back at somebody else or to get your lover back or all those things. It's not, we have to work on ourselves now. We need to do work on ourselves. And that is what I've been focusing my practice on, is in the 21 divisions, is focusing on helping people heal what is blocking them. And here, what blocks the fire energy center is, okay, is shame. Shaming ourselves, shame from our environment, from our community, shame from, our past, shame from our ancestors, feeling shame because our ancestors were in one of the hypnosis sessions that I did to elevate an ancestor. She was still stuck because the shame of the fact that she was unclothed and put on parade in front of people to be sold during slavery was still stuck with her, and she couldn't move on because of that shame. So that ancestor has been stuck on this earth plane for as long as since slavery started, since the 1600s, because she was unclothed and put on display. And she still carried the shame of that with her. So during that session, I had to help that descendant be able to let go of that shame by helping that ancestor move on. That is the reason why I do the things that I do. That is the reason why I have learned so many different things from many different places in the world, because I wanted to help voodoo and those who practice voodoo. I wanted us to be able to evolve to voodoo's full capacity, because voodoo, the capacity that voodoo has been used at is in the lowest capacity possible for the last 600 years. Because before slavery, voodoo was used as a way to gain power, a very powerful practice. So my job is to restore the power that voodoo had before our ancestors were enslaved and brainwashed. So if you are very much blocked by shame, you need to look at your solar plexus. You need to look at praying to Pedro spirits like Papa Candelo or Esri Danto or Anaí Sapie, praying to them, asking them for assistance, to give you a general blessing, to guide you to a person that can help you heal this, okay? Okay, the next energy center is in the heart. And this energy center is ruled by love. It's ruled by love and light. Unconditional love for self, unconditional love for others. Another big problem in our people of color community. We have a problem for some reason when someone, we have a problem receiving love because we have a lot of distrust because of our history. And we have a problem giving love as well because, again, our history. Okay, before this, we were very loving, very caring, very mushy people before slavery. And there has been historical records of how the indigenous people and how the people of the African people were very, very, very sweet, calm-tempered people. They were forced into becoming violent in order to defend themselves, in order to get out of suppression, in order to get out of slavery. It's time for us to heal now. Okay? Now, the heart, like I said, is ruled by love, and it's blocked by grief. Do you know how much grief is in our people of color community? There is so much grief that has not been dealt with. There's so much grief in the ancestral realm that I have had to help a lot of the people that have come to me, whether people of color, whether people not of color, because if you know anything about reincarnation, you could be reincarnated into any color person and have ancestral issues. Okay? Grief for what's happening in the world, grief for what happened in the past, grief that we have currently. So what happens is our heart chakra can be blocked, our heart energy center can be blocked by grief, and then we are not able to allow in beings like Maitreya Frida. We're not able to heal our heart. We're not able to move forward. We're not able to receive love. We're not able to receive community. We're not able to receive, we're not able to give love. We're not able to give affection because we have that heart chakra blocked by grief. The being that can help you with this is praying to beings like Maitreya Frida. Maitreya Frida is in the vibration of love. She's in the vibration of unconditional love, and that's the reason why when she comes in, she feels all of the grief and of the collective, and she cries and cries and cries when she's in possession because she is feeling all of the grief and all of the sadness that the collective is feeling. Okay, and because her vibration is the vibration of unconditional love. Unconditional love is saying, I will carry this with you, and I don't need anything in return from you. I'm just going to carry this with you and help you through it, okay? And when we ancestrally are stuck in this grief vibration that is causing our hearts to be blocked from giving and receiving, and what's happening is too, we lose pieces of our soul that are able to love unconditionally. We lose pieces of our soul that are able to have the willpower because of shame. We lose the pieces of our soul that are able to have pleasure because of guilt. We lose pieces of our soul that are able to connect with our ancestral realms, that are able to feel safe because we are blocked by fear. Okay? So like I said, beings like Maitreya Frida can really help with healing the heart. So can archangels like Archangel Raphael. If you work with the archangels, Archangel Raphael can very much help with this as well because he is also in this vibration of love, okay, and healing. Maitreya Frida, however, if you're talking about voodoo, Maitreya Frida is the Loa of love, unconditional love, self-love, okay. The next energy center is the throat. The throat. I have had hypnosis sessions where I've done hypnosis sessions for elevating the ancestors, and I have done mediumship sessions for elevating the ancestors. And during these hypnosis and mediumship sessions, the ancestors have chains on their throats, so they are still their descendants are feeling silenced. They feel silenced. They feel like they can't speak their truth. They feel like they can't move forward. They feel like they can't be their full intelligent selves, that they can't express themselves openly. And that is because that ancestor is still cuffed at the neck. And we have to remove that cuff during the mediumship sessions and hypnosis sessions to be able to actually heal, and then go in and do healing on the throat so that that ancestor can move on, and then the descendant can actually heal. Now, the throat is ruled by wind. It is the energy of sound, okay? And it's the not only sound, but also technology, music, medicine, vibration, okay? So this energy, one of the voodoo spirits that can help with this is Ogun Balenjo, because Ogun Balenjo, who is Maîtresse Elie Frida's husband in my practice, Ogun Balenjo vibrates at the energy of the throat. Okay, that's why his colors are blue and white, because his energy vibrates at the energy of the throat. He's also the Ogun of medicine, sound, vibration, music, okay? So he's able to assist with that. So if you are having issues with the throat chakra, you're having issues with your throat being blocked, then the Loa that can help with that, you can pray to them. Like I've said before, you don't have to be initiated to pray for general blessings and to pray for them to give you guidance to go to somebody who's going to help you. The only time you have to be initiated, like I've said before, is either by an elder or by a priest or high priestess, is when you are going to start doing work that needs training, that requires you to be trained on how to do these works, okay? So you can pray to Ogun Balenjo to remove the things that are blocking your throat. One of the biggest things that are blocking our throat is you again, our ancestors being forced to be silenced, as well as lies that we tell ourselves and lies that we tell others. So lies that we tell ourselves, lies that we tell others, that is what blocks our throat, as well as being silenced. Okay, like our ancestors were silenced, and if we have that ancestral wound, it's not just ancestral, it also can be a wound within ourselves, right? But a lot of these ancestral wounds are what's causing us to have these higher vibrational energy centers in our body completely dormant and keeping us in the survival mode, which is the lowest vibration in our body. Okay? The third eye. The third eye is the home of the intuition. The third eye is the home of the intuition. It's the ability to see. Now, if you open your third eye and you have not healed any of the other aspects of your body, a lot of what you're going to see is going to be low vibrational negative things in the spiritual world, because you haven't healed the other energy centers. So you are going to see in the spiritual world what you are vibrating at. Okay? Now, when you are balanced in all of your energy centers, you're able to see both the light and the dark in the spiritual side. Or you can choose to shut off seeing the dark and only see the beings of light in the spiritual realm. So it's all depending on you. It's depending on your own vibration. A lot of psychics, they create, because they don't know that they're psychic, they create shadow people from their own magical energy that is just dispersed into the environment, that ends up coming together and becoming like a sentient being, and it's an extension of yourself. Okay? So the third eye, it's blocked by illusion. So if you are still in this illusion energy, if you're still in, believing lies that people tell you, if you're still refusing to see the truth, if you're refusing to see the truth for what it is, if you're refusing to see your part in something, not just somebody else's part in something, if you are stuck in this illusion that, you know, the world is black and white and then people can either be evil or good and then there's no in between, you are not going to like it if your third eye opens. You're not going to like it. But your third eye is blocked by illusion. Okay, beings that can help with this are beings like the gypsy spirits in the 21 divisions, or Mata la Dominadora. Actually, Mata la Dominadora is one of the more powerful of beings that can deal with the third eye. Okay. You have beings like Papa Legba, because Papa Legba is the gatekeeper between the living and the dead. So he's able to also help with opening the third eye if you are trying to communicate with the dead. So Mata Dominadora, Papa Legba. Now, like I said, you don't want to go and do a working with a loa when you are not prepared to do that. But you can light a candle and just ask for guidance on this, and for guidance and for assistance in healing this. And then they will guide you to who you need to go to, who's going to help you. Now, if you feel called to coming to me, then you can book a consultation and we can talk about that, okay? Then you have the crown, okay? Archangel Azrael is more on in the root chakra area, not so much in the third eye. For the majority, he's mostly in the root area, sacral area, the area between the living and the dead kind of thing. Now, he can be seen when you open your third eye, but he's more in the area of the sacral and the realm that is more ruled by the sacral energy, the root energy. Okay. Now we get into the crown. Okay. When we get to the crown is our divine connection to Papa Bon Dieu and Mama Bon Dieu, right? So Mama Bon Dieu, Papa Bon Dieu are the gods in voodoo. Okay. So they are divine connection. Cosmic energy is blocked by earthly attachment. If you are so attached to another person, if you're so attached to the physical around you, now this doesn't mean you can't have wealth. This is where a lot of gurus have made a mistake. They very clearly see things very black and white. Just because I say you need to let go of earthly attachments does not mean. Notice that every single guru that says let go of earthly attachments is usually a man, and that's because they see things very masculine, which is like the physical, literal. What they're not. What we're actually talking about here, if you look at it from a matriarchal perspective, is yes, you can have all those things, but those things shouldn't define you. Those things shouldn't be the most important things in the world for you. That doesn't mean that because you have wealth, because you have a nice house, because you have a car, a bad car, a nice car, that you're not connected to God. No. It means that you could lose that house tomorrow and your connection to God isn't going to be affected. You are not going to be affected because you have that divine connection to God. Okay, so when you're looking at it from a divine feminine perspective, it's about the energetic attachment. It's not about it doesn't mean that you have to give up all your wealth and your house and your nice car and your the things that you like in order to be connected to God. That's not what it means. It's about having all those things, but realizing that God could humble you at any moment, and realizing that you shouldn't have an emotional connection to it. You shouldn't have an emotional attachment to it, okay? So when we talk about cords, you shouldn't have an emotional or energetic attachment to these things because they're fleeting. They're not going to be able to go with you into your tomb when you die, okay? So that's what it actually means, is that not having an energetic attachment. Not that you can't have those things if you want to be connected to God, but rather that you shouldn't have an energetic attachment to those things where like you're going to die if you lose it, okay? That's what happens when some people like put so much importance on like the house and the car and people's opinions and all that stuff, that when they don't have that, they take their own lives because they're so energetically entangled with those things. Okay, so that's what it means to have a divine connection. You have to let go of earthly attachments. A lot of ancestors are still very much stuck to the earthly attachments, so they're not able to elevate because they want to be, you know, they want to be too stuck here. And they can come and visit. There's nothing wrong with them visiting, but some of them never actually crossed over at all to go through their process before they got a chance to come back and visit. Okay, so the ancestors that are earthbound are ancestors that decided that they didn't want to go into the light because they didn't want to go through the process of transitioning. Those are or they felt like they weren't pure enough, or they were maybe part of a religion that told them that they weren't pure enough to transition into the light and that they were going to be judged. And because of all these things that they carry with them, they got earthbound when they passed. Okay, so beings that can help with the crown chakra and with having healthy attachments, are beings like Belial Khan, who was synchronized with Archangel Michael. Beings like Damballa in Voodoo, because Damballa is the cosmic snake of creation, and he is the healer. In the white snake is the healer. The Damballa is the healer of the crown. And that is the reason why Ayida Wedo, who is the rainbow snake, Ayida Wedo rules the third eye, and Damballa rules the crown chakra. Because they work together. The crown and the third eye work together. So let me just show you this little thing that I did here. Like, you have Damballa as the top snake, and then you have Ayida Wedo as the rainbow snake. They work together because Ayida rules the third eye and Damballa rules the crown. If you look at it from that perspective of mixing Eastern spirituality and Voodoo, when you are able to see the connections between these different spiritual practices, you start to realize that a lot of these spiritual practices are not that different. They just have different terminology for different things. So that is where I'm going to leave you with that. And I'm going to go ahead and do now the pick a card reading, where we are going to find out based on now, keep in mind with the pick a card reading, take what resonates, leave what does not. Now, pick a card reading is a general reading. So based on the pile that you choose, I'm going to ask Spirit what is going on in each one of your chakra centers and what may need to be healed there. And like I said, if you want a specific, this is going to be for the collective, because today is the last full moon of the year. So today is technically the end of the astrological year, because today is the last full moon of the year. Okay? So today we have the moon in Virgo. So anything that is done today becomes more permanent, okay? So we're going to go ahead and do a pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Keep in mind that whatever is said during these readings, I have to say for legal purposes, for entertainment and spiritual purposes only. No, there will be more full moons. This is the last full moon of the year. And then we start again of the astrological year, because we are in the new moon is in Pisces. Pisces is the last sign that the sun goes through. So this is the last full moon of one solar year. Okay, the sun has gone through all of the 12 signs, and its new year is in March. Okay, okay, so the new year is gonna be in March. The new year starts with the new moon in Aries, and Anacaona, who is one of the Taino spirits that I work with, she has asked me to start doing moonology reports. So I'm gonna start posting hopefully every day. Okay, I kind of go with the flow, but hopefully every day I'm gonna start posting a little bit of a moonology as a how is the moon going to making you feel kind of thing. Okay, so today hopefully the moon is making you feel a little bit more analytical, and making you look at things a little bit more closely. Now, Virgo rules the skeletal system. So the structure. So it's very interesting that Spirit asked me to talk about the structure of the energy centers and the different loa that can help with these energy centers, because Virgo is the structure ruler. Okay, so we'll see. All right, Spirit, give me a card for pile number 1 that they will know is the card that they need to pick. So give me a card for pile number 1, please. We are also, according to Chinese astrology, we are also in a dragon year, which is a very lucky year. All right, so pile number 1, your card that you can pick is the 10 of Cups upside down. So this is your card, pile number 1, 10 of Cups. So we're going to go through each energy center for each pile and see what energy center needs healing for you. Keep in mind, like I said, this is a general reading. So if you want a more specific reading specific to you, you need to book one on highpriestessmay.com. Okay. So pile number 1, you have the 10 of Cups upside down. Pile number 2, you have the 2 of Rods upside down. I feel like I already know which one is going to be the biggest issue for each one. Okay, 2 of Rods upside down. For pile number 2. Pile number 3. Make sure you comment your pile in the comments. Pile number 3, you got the Devil. Oof, okay. Okay. All right, pile number 1, you got the 10 of Cups upside down. Pile number 2, you got the 2 of Rods upside down. Pile number 3, you have the Devil. Now remember, this pick a card reading is about healing your energy. What energy in you needs to be healed? Healing your energy. So keep in mind, that's what this pick a card is about. So don't get scared away by the Devil, because this card might actually have a lot of insight for you as to what needs to be healed. Okay? Let's get started. So pile number 1, let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, pile number 1, if you pick the 10 of Cups, where I feel like you need the most healing is going to be your heart chakra. Okay? Your ability to receive and give love is going to be, okay? You can listen to all of them if you want and use a discernment, whichever one you feel. If you feel like, oh, that hit me, that means that applies to you. That means it resonates with you, because words, vibrations, they can have an effect and trigger certain things in you. That's why our job as spiritual healers sometimes is to trigger you so that you can see what needs healing. So for you, pile number 1, I feel like the chakra that needs the most healing for you is the heart. Okay? So you need to work with energies and the vibration of Maîtresse Elifrida, Archangel Raphael. Okay? Okay? So let's go ahead and get a little bit more insight. Spirit, can I please have a card for the root for pile number 1? What needs healing? What energy is the root in for pile number 1, and what healing does it need? Okay. For you, for your root pile number 1, Spirit gave you the card of the World. Okay? The World. So we're going to talk about each card, but I'm going to pull for each one. All right. Spirit, can I have a card for the sacral chakra for pile number 1? Death. Okay. Woof. Pile number 1, you already got a lot of things to deal with. Death. Spirit, can I have a card for the sacral chakra for pile number 1? 6 of Swords. Okay. For the for the solar plexus. Let me do that again because I messed up. Spirit, can you give us a solar plexus card for pile number 1? Okay, 6 of rods. I will show you each one of the cards. Okay, Spirit, can I have a card for the heart chakra for pile number 1? 10 of swords, I'm going to put it there. Okay. Spirit, can I have a card for the throat chakra of pile number 1? The Queen of Coins upside down. Spirit, can I have a card for the third eye of pile number 1? 8 of Wands. Spirit guides, can I have a card for the crown chakra of pile number 1? Okay. All right, 7 of Wands. Okay. What does pile number 1 need to do for the root chakra? You need to end cycles. You are here to be the one to end the cycle. Pile number 1. So if you chose pile number 1, this tells me that you are here to end the cycles of suffering and the cycles of fear connected to your ancestors. So you are here to do ancestral work that is going to end the cycles of suffering for your ancestors and for yourself. Generational curse breaker is what I'm hearing here. So I feel very much that you are definitely here to heal ancestral generational curses, cycles that are repeated. So for the root, for your root, what you need to focus on, what's going to balance your root, what's going to open your root is breaking habits that your ancestors had that are no longer serving your highest good. It's ending cycles, okay? For you, pile number 1. What is going to help your sacral chakra is death. So ending certain relationships, ending certain situations, allowing for a death and rebirth to happen for you. Death and rebirth. I'm also getting with this card particularly that you may need to work with a being that has to do with death in order to balance your sacral chakra. And you may have to also work on elevating some ancestors, maybe some negative ancestors that are blocking you, ancestors that might be malignant, or ancestors, or healing some anger. I'm also getting cutting cords with toxic people. Okay, so it's going to help you, pile number 1, for your sacral, for the health of your sacral, is to cut cords with some toxic people, as well as to release the guilt of cutting cords with these toxic people. Ooh, for some reason, I just heard for pile number 1, if you're a person of color and you have white ancestors, I'm hearing you need to release the guilt from your white ancestors. I'm hearing white guilt. White guilt. Okay? So I'm not trying to make this racial, but Spirit, I just heard white guilt. So if you are somebody who's mixed, I feel like in order to balance your sacral, you're going to have to forgive your white ancestors for their behavior. You're going to have to forgive them, and not have to forgive them, but work on forgiving them and work on moving them on so that they can move on with their life and you can move on with your life. Okay? I don't know why I'm hearing the Beyonce song, the Texas Hold'em song. You may have to connect with your white ancestors as well in order to heal your sacral. Or you might have to just work on healing energy with toxic family members, okay? Work on healing and cutting cords with toxic family members. Whew. For some of you, I feel that your ancestors did not get a proper funeral, or proper burial, and some of them are like earthbound and kind of bothering you because they didn't get a proper funeral or a proper burial, and they're requesting like prayer for them for their elevation. So some of you, in order to heal your sacral for pile number 1, you're gonna have to do an ancestor altar. You need to do an ancestor altar for one for your male ancestors and one for your female ancestors in order to balance that energy. Okay, for the solar plexus. Okay. For you, pile number 1, I'm getting that your solar plexus needs balancing between the masculine and the feminine. So you might either be too much in the feminine or you might be too much in the masculine, depending on what your gender is. You might be leaning too much into one gender or the other. And Spirit is saying you need to balance. Because here's this symbol here is about the light body, and it talks about the balance of the feminine and the masculine. Okay, so you may need to balance your feminine and masculine energies in order to heal, in order to let go of shame. Okay, or you may need to also let go of the shame of your family, shame of your femininity, or shame of your masculinity, whatever it is. For pile number 1, I'm also hearing maybe like LGBT shame. You need to work on releasing that shame because that's what's blocking your solar plexus and your willpower. I'm hearing you may have a lot of anxiety about life because of that shame, because of these fears, this shame, this guilt that you're carrying, pile number 1. Okay, remember I said what needs the most healing for you is the heart chakra, and then with the heart chakra we also got this clarifier, which is the 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords is about thoughts that overburden you. It's about energy that overburdens you. It's about grief that overburdens you. It's about burnout. It's about doing so much for the world and not getting anything in return. It's about so much. Okay, so, but 10s are about cycles needing to end, cycles that need to be released, cycles that need to be removed. So this is very much connected to your root chakra. So this grief is very much connected to your root chakra. So definitely need to end some cycles of overburdening yourself and cycles of overthinking, overanalyzing things, cycles of burnout, okay? Or like basing your worth on how much you do for other people, because that's causing your heartbreak here. That's what's causing your heart to be blocked. Okay, so like I said before, beings that can help with this is Madre Frida, who teaches us self-love, unconditional love for self and others, okay? Now, your throat. Whew. Your throat, pile number 1, is blocked by the Queen of Pentacles. Pile number 1, I feel like you're lying to yourself about whether you deserve wealth or not. I feel like you're lying to yourself, telling yourself that you don't deserve to be rich, you don't deserve to be living comfort. You are speaking lack into your own life. So Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles is someone who's very financially well off, lives a very prosperous life, lives a very wealthy life, lives a very nurturing existence, very earthly grounded. So I feel like your throat is also very ungrounded. And pile number 1, I feel like you're manifesting things into your reality by speaking negatively, because she was upside down. So you're manifesting some of the negative things that are happening in your life because your throat is speaking from a place of lack. It's speaking from a place of limiting beliefs. It's speaking from a place, remember, the whole universe is ruled by sound, right? So if we believe the Bible that says that God said, let there be light, and then there was light, that tells us that the whole universe is ruled by sound. Anything you speak gets created. And we're making the likeness of God. We're told we were made in the likeness of God, and that means that we have God's power to create things in our lives with our words, with the energy that we hold on to, whether people want to believe that or not. Okay, your vibration, that which you speak, it's the same thing in voodoo. When you speak something in voodoo, you make it happen. Okay, it's that sympathetic magic again. What you speak, what resonates, it's what happens in your reality. So you have been speaking a lot of lack into your life. So your throat chakra is blocked by these lies that you're telling yourself, and maybe some lies you're telling other people about what you really desire in life. If you really desire to be wealthy, stop hiding that. Stop hiding your true desires. And because you're lying to yourself about what you really want, you're manifesting the opposite of what you do want. Okay? The third eye, we have the 8 of Wands. I'm getting here, the first thing I got when I pulled this card was you need to see more of the world in order to open your eyes, in order to break the illusions. You need to see more of the world in order to break the illusions that are going to allow your third eye to open and expand. You need to also study more of the world. I feel like you also need to maybe expose yourself to more things in the material world as well as more things in the spiritual world so that you can open your eyes a little bit more and be able to open your third eye and have that balance in the third eye. Okay. Last but not least, the crown. So for you, pal number 1, the crown chakra is blocked by the need to overcome obstacles. Okay. So what I'm getting here is for you to work on building a solid foundation for yourself where you are secure in who you are and where you are in life, and that you are secure in yourself, that you don't become overly attached to other people and to other things working out. I'm also hearing releasing control to faith. Okay, so taking faith and having faith and taking action and releasing control, surrendering. Pile number 1. I'm hearing for you to have a divine connection that is stronger, you need to surrender to the things that you can't control. Surrender to the things you can't control. Take action and have faith on the things you can control. Okay? So that is your message, pile number 1. If you just jumped in, then you'll have to wait for the replay. Okay, because this card reading is gonna need for you to watch the first part of the video where I explain the different energy centers in order for you to understand what this card reading is about for you. Okay. All right, pile number 2, I got the 2 of Rods upside down. So for me, this tells me that you have a blockage in the solar plexus and a little bit in the sacral. So your willpower is kind of shut down, which is causing a shutdown in your relationships as well. But primarily your willpower, your ability to get things done. Okay. So you got the 3 of Rods. Let's go ahead and see. Spirit, can I please have a card that describes the healing that is needed for pile number 2 in the root chakra? 4 of Pentacles. Okay. Spirit, can I please have a card for the sacral? Magician upside down. Okay. Spirit, can I please have a card for the solar plexus? File number 2. The Wheel of Fortune upside down. Oh my goodness. Okay. The Heart. The Priestess. Okay. Okay. I'm already hearing songs. I'm hearing, as I pulled pile number 2's The Priestess, I heard listen to your heart. Okay, Spirit, can I please have a card for the throat chakra of pile number 2? The 5 of Cups upside down. Okay. Spirit, can I please have a card for the third eye of pile number 2? 7 of coins, okay. Spirit, can I please have a card for the crown chakra of pile number 2? The 9 of Cups. Beautiful. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. Okay, so let's take a look here before we get started with that. La 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 la. So, give me 1 second, y'all. I accidentally put the devil back in here, and we need the devil for pile number 3, so I gotta pull it out real quick. This is behind the scenes right now. Okay, brief intermission. Before we get, there it is. There's that devil. Okay. All right, so pile number 2, what is blocking your root chakra is your fear of money, okay? It's your fear of money that is blocking your root. Your fear of money, fear of lack, fear of not having enough. And you're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So this like fear of poverty is what's blocking your root. It's what's in I'm getting that if you really connected to your ancestral spirits and worked with your ancestors, you really could overcome this. And you are, I get the feeling that like the bottom of your deck was the 9 of coins. So I'm going to pull it out because if you do this, this is kind of like the result. The 9 of coins is you being wealthy from the work, from a business or work that you do, that you build. Okay. So this was the bottom of the deck for you, the 9 of Pentacles. Now, you're here because you're so afraid of not having this. You have trauma related to money. You have trauma related to poverty. Okay? Okay? And this is what's really blocking your root. Okay? So, you need to work on realizing that there are some things, I don't know how to say this in the right way, but there are some things more important than money. You need to work smarter, not harder. You need to work smarter, not harder. You need to value your energy more. I feel that for you, pile number 2, here's what's going to happen to you. You are going to keep working your ass off because you're so afraid of not having enough money. You're going to burn yourself out. And then you're going to go, I can't do this anymore. I need to open a business or do something that's going to make me more money per hour. Or that's going to give me a salary that I don't have to be working all the time. So that is where this is going to end up leading you. Okay? So if you do focus on healing this, if you say, okay, I have this issue of fear of lack, I have this trauma that has to do with money, what change can I make so that I don't have to keep holding on to this anymore, so that I can move on from this energy? Okay? So that is where you're at. Your sacral is blocked by the Magician upside down. So what's happening? You're not manifesting. You're not manifesting. You're not taking control of your own reality. You're not taking control of your own reality. Pile number 2. You're not manifesting things into being. Okay? You're just kind of like, you're making a soup, but you're throwing boots in it. And boots are not an ingredient. So you need to realize that you are the magician. You have the power to change things by changing things. You don't have the power to change everything that's happening in the world, pile number 2. Let's not even joke about that. But you have the power to change what's happening in your life, what's happening in your specific situation. There is when a door closes, a window opens. Okay? So what's blocking you here is not creating your own reality. There's kind of like a little bit of guilt about you manifesting things that you want, or like you're like, I don't know, I feel bad for asking for more from God. You know, I feel guilty. And that guilt is really what's actually blocking you from manifesting what you desire, okay? So you're manifesting that lack instead of manifesting the prosperity, because there's a part of you that feels a little bit guilty. This happens a lot with people. I used to have a student who had the ability to really, really understand like Forex trading, and they felt, when they found out that the whole money system is a scam, that you literally can make money doing anything, they felt so guilty by how poor like their family was and how poor everybody they knew growing up was, that they wanted to share this with everybody. And then everybody just wasn't really into it, because that vision was supposed to be for them. That prosperity, that wealth was supposed to be for them to have. But they held themselves back for years and even made themselves sick because of this guilt of, could I possibly make more than my family did? Could I possibly do that? Like, I feel guilty about knowing this information and not sharing it with other people. But when this person did try to share it, nobody listened, because it wasn't meant for them. It was meant for this person. Okay, so it wasn't until, or it's not until that person decided, you know what, nobody's gonna listen to me, I'm just gonna focus on me, that their life started to open up. Okay, survivor's remorse. Exactly. So some of you might have this guilt, like survivor's remorse. Like you have this guilt about other people not having as much wealth as you, or you having more than other people. That's what's actually blocking you from your highest good. And I have a little secret for you. As a priestess, I see a lot of people. And trust me, a lot of the people, not everybody, but a lot of the people who are in the situations they're in are because they're full of excuses and no action. Because I have had experiences where a person has been given $1 million, and in a year they're back at the same place because they spent it all on things that were not important. And literally they spent it on alcohol, they spent it on drugs, they spent it on all this other stuff, and they're like, I don't understand how I'm broke again. $1 million a year later, in 1 year, because they don't have any forethought. So you cannot feel guilty all the time for having things that you worked for when other people have the same 24 hours in a day. Of course, other people may have disabilities and things like that. I'm not talking about that. But other people have the same 24 hours a day. The people who are normal, people who are just like you, and they choose to do nothing with it. Okay? So stop feeling guilty for doing better than others just because you listened and they didn't. Okay? Because that's what's blocking your sacral and it's blocking your flow. Okay? If they have the same mental capacity, if they have the same physical capacity as you, they have the same 24 hours as you should not feel guilty about them not having what you have if you worked harder, if you went for it and they didn't. Okay? So you need to let go of that guilt. You need to let go of that fear of money. You are so afraid of being wealthy. It's blocking you from being wealthy because you are kind of a little bit addicted, pile number 2, to survival mode. You're kind of addicted of like, what am I going to do if I have all this money? I have to keep, I have to do something where I'm always working, because you don't really know what to do with yourself. You can't even fathom what are you going to do with yourself if you have all the money that you ever could possibly want and need. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to the Bahamas and drinking some pina coladas on the beach, baby. Okay, so stop being afraid of being wealthy, pile number 2, because that's what's actually making you procrastinate. You're procrastinating on doing the things that's going to make you exactly what you need and what you want because you're afraid and you're guilty. Okay, gotta stop working on vacation, pile number 2s. Your solar plexus is blocked by bad luck right now. Your solar plexus is blocked by negative energy is what I'm getting. Your luck is being drained because of this fear and this guilt. You might have stomach issues, digestive issues because of negative energies attached to you. Because you're in this fear and in this guilt vibration, you have attracted some negative spirits into your energy. You have attracted some negative energy into your energy that is causing you to have some really bad luck. Okay? I feel like you, pile number 2, I feel like you also need to do some ancestral elevation. Because there may be some ancestors for you, pile number 2, that are holding you back. But I don't know, but I feel like this is also people that are living. I feel like these are living people that look at you and it's like, oh, mal de ojo. Somebody just said to me, mal de ojo, in this ear. It's evil eye. It's evil eye. It's evil eye. That's what's blocking your third eye. I'm sorry, that's what's blocking your solar plexus. It's evil eye. Mal de ojo. Stop telling people your business. Stop telling people what you're working towards. Stop telling people like, oh my God. Like, I want to do this because I want to have this. Because those people are secretly hoping that you don't get there. Stop telling, make your moves in silence. Make your moves in silence. Stop telling people what you want to do. Stop going, oh my God, you know, I want to work really hard this year so I can save up money and buy my house and like buy this car and blah, blah, blah. Stop. 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 Whoever you're telling this to, these people don't want you to get there. You want to tell somebody, write it in a diary because then you'll manifest it. Get yourself a diary and tell your diary. Okay? You know, when I was little, I used to have one of those diaries that you could like talk into. But then my mom found it, so I had to throw it away because my mom was special. Anyway, so like if you feel like, oh my God, I have to tell somebody, tell yourself in the mirror. Tell yourself like, hey girl, oh my God. Okay, we got to work hard this year, you know, because we're going to buy that house. We're going to buy that car. We're going to go to the Bahamas. We got to work hard this year, girl. Like, tell yourself in the mirror. Sometimes I do that to myself. And when my shadow self is being extra and trying to get in my way, I'll go in the mirror and I'll be like, listen, you need to stop this shit. Okay? Stop procrastinating. You know exactly what we're supposed to be doing so that we can get to exactly where we want to go. So stop this shit. I will say that to my shadow self in the mirror, and then she'll be like, fine. So if you need to, you know, if it's yourself hating on yourself, like if there's a part of you that's going like, that's not possible, you need to sit Sally in front of you in that mirror, call that person Sally in your head and go, listen, Sally, just because you were programmed to think that this is impossible for you does not mean it's not possible for you. So I'm going to need you to stop being so negative. Okay? So if it's yourself that's hating on you, then you need to have a talk with yourself. But if it's other people, then you need to stop telling other people your business. Okay? Because your luck is, the seed of your luck is your solar plexus. And your luck is messed up right now because you keep telling people your business. Okay? And they're like in the back, they're like, oh, I don't know who she thinks she is. I don't know who he think he is. Blah, blah, blah. Losers. Anyway, so, you know, stop manifesting negative things for yourself by letting go of that fear, that guilt, and then stop telling people your business because some people just don't want what's best for you. Okay? Because they feel like, well, why should you get it if I'm not getting it? Okay? Your heart, I got the High Priestess for your heart chakra. So your heart, I feel like, is being blocked by you not listening to your inner High Priestess. You need to listen to your intuition. You need to listen to your heart. So this is really interesting because this High Priestess is wearing pink, so she kind of reminds me of Maîtresse Di Frida. So if you need help with balancing your heart, ask Maîtresse Di Frida for assistance. You can light a candle to her for her general blessing and protection and guidance without being initiated. But anything deeper than that, then you may need to have an initiation process. Okay? Now, so grief too. But I feel like your heart, the grief that you're holding is more like disappointment. It's like disappointment in other people, okay? So I would suggest releasing that disappointment, releasing that grief, and listening to your heart, because that's where you're going to be guided to the right place, okay? Okay, your throat. Your throat is blocked. Your throat is your ability to create through vibration, through sound, okay? Your throat is blocked by grief from the past. It's blocked also by talking about the past. Like, you need to let go of the past. You need to maybe cut cords with past relationships. You need to let go of places that make you feel melancholy. Maybe some of you, I'm getting that you miss maybe like the hometown where you used to live, and Spirit is saying like you need to let that go. You need to allow yourself to grow further. You need to allow yourself to move forward. Okay, so if you're still talking about the same thing from the past, maybe past trauma, maybe you may need to look into getting some throat healing, okay? Right? Also, if you're speaking negatively on your own life too, you may need to get some throat healing. Okay? Stop, if you're still stuck on talking about the past, still stuck on feelings from the past, relationships from the past that need to be let go of, you need to work on that. Okay. Third eye. Your third eye is blocked by you feeling like you're not yet seeing the fruits of your labor. Spirit wants you to trust that the fruits of your labor are coming. You're going to receive what you desire. But because you still haven't seen it, maybe you planted the seed and you're only seeing a tiny little twig, you feel like that twig is never going to be a big tree. And that's not true. Spirit is making a promise to you that your third eye will be open to seeing if you break out of the illusion that you will not be rewarded for your sacrifices and your work and the things that you're working towards, okay? So you are going to receive the fruits of your labor, but you have to allow it to come to you. You have to allow it, because what God is creating for you is so big that it's going to take time. It's not going to be able to be a tree in one day, okay? You're going to have to wait for that seed to grow into a seedling and to grow into a twig and then to sprout and then to grow and grow and grow and grow taller and taller and taller, okay? So you have to let go of, oh my God, I have to see that it's working in order for me to believe in it. No, believing is seeing. Believing in it first. Remember, even Joshua said that. If you believe in something first, then you will see it happening. But if you have to see to believe, then your third eye is going to continue being stuck in an illusion. Okay? So believing is seeing. If you can see it in your third eye, it is going to happen for you. You don't need to see it in the physical world first. You need to see it in here first and believe it in here before you see it in the physical world. Because thoughts become thoughts become emotions, emotions become actions, actions become physical matter. Okay? Okay. Last but not least, what's blocking your crown is not having healthy relationships. So, pile number 2, you need to focus on having the connections to people that are healthy for you. Having connections and relationships, and being okay with letting people go that are not good for you, that are toxic for you, because this toxic relationships are blocking your divine connection to God. Okay, these toxic attachments, maybe your stubbornness for something to happen a way that you want it to happen, like these things are blocking your connection to God. Okay, so you need to be okay with the fact that nada es para siempre. Okay, nothing is forever. No connection is forever. No physical thing is forever. Not even life is forever. This is a fleeting moment in the blink of God's eye. Damn, that was poetic. So this is a fleeting moment in the blink of God's eye. So you need to be okay with people leaving your life that are not good for you. You need to be okay with welcoming in and praying to God. Papa bon die, Mama bon die, Dambala, Believer can help you with these things. You need to be okay with asking God to bring in your soul family that is in the highest good for you. You have to be okay with maybe leaving a situation. Okay? Nothing is forever. Okay? And bottom of the deck for you, I feel like the life that God is trying to get you to build by clearing all of these blockages that you have is a life full of prosperity, abundance, wealth, fulfillment, okay? Complete fulfillment, both in the physical and in the spiritual world. But you got to let go of the stubbornness of not following God's flow. Sometimes you trying to get your way is blocking you from the castle that God has for you, right? So you're like, I want a house and I want it now. And then you're like, you come across a little shack and you're like, well, you know what? It's a house. So I'm just going to take this little shack. I'm not going to wait for that castle that God is building me because I want it now. So because you want something now, you're blocking yourself from what's better for you in the future. Okay? Keep that in mind. All right? Don't block yourself from that castle just because you want something right now. You know, I was reflecting yesterday on when I was younger. Oh my God. I was like, man, I was so stupid sometimes when I was younger. I was like, you know, sometimes like my elders would tell me things like a lot of this, and this is a little warning for those people who are like new initiates in voodoo or new initiates in any ATR. Because when I was a new initiate, right? When I was a child, I was a new initiate, and I was a teenager, I was a new initiate. You know, I didn't become a mambo until my late teens. Well, I didn't become a mambo. I started my priesthood when I was in my late teens. And when I was in my late teens, because I had my intuition, I would be so resistant to some of the things my grandfather would tell me. I would be so resistant to doing some of the things that like my grandfather would tell me to do something like a service a certain way to the loa, and I'd be like, but I kind of feel like I should do it this way. And then like I thought I knew better than everybody when I was younger. And you know, and I see this happen a lot. Sometimes we block ourselves. And now, you know, almost 15 years later, I was remembering yesterday something my grandfather said to me about a service, the mysteries. And I was like, let me try it, because I was doing something with one of the loa and it was not working the way that I could feel like the loa was not happy with something I was doing. And I was like, what is it that you don't like on this plate? And they were like, do it the way your grandfather told you. And it was Papa Candelo, because Papa Candelo likes things. Papa Candelo is a stickler for ritual, so he likes things very, very specifically, right? So I'm like setting things up for him or whatever. And well, he's telling me something he wants me to do in my head, and he's like, no, do it this way. And I'm like, okay, well, should I do it this way? Because this is the way that I do things with so-and-so. Like, should I do it this way? And he's like, no, I'm telling you, do it the way your grandfather told you to do it. And I was like, okay. So till this day, I have to tell you, sometimes like the older that I get, the more that we realize that sometimes we just need to listen to some of our elders that are actually more knowledgeable than us. And sometimes we need to just stop thinking that we know everything and realize that our elders know more than we do. Even if we think that we know everything, or we think that we could do something better than somebody else, because that's what we're so stuck on, or being stubborn, that God knows better than everybody. The spirits know better than everybody. The mysteries know better than everybody. Okay. And with the mysteries, the thing with the mysteries is, for anybody who's worked with the Loa, is they could give permission for something to be done, and then because it's a necessity for something to be done a particular way in the moment, and then 10 years later or 5 years later, they can change the way that they want something done. So this is what I need y'all, that's what I need a lot of people to understand. That sometimes the mysteries will let go of procedure and process. And this is completely related to pile number 2. So I just want to make sure y'all understand pile number 2. Why I'm saying this is because there's a certain process that God needs you to follow in order to get to where you are supposed to be. So you need to go with the flow, right? So there are times when, in times of necessity, Spirit will let go of a certain process that needs to be done. But then when things are back to normal, when things are back to where a process is able to be followed, then the mysteries require you to do it a certain way, require you to follow that process. So pile number 2, realize that something may have been done a certain way before. Maybe in the past, the way for you to get somewhere was for you to bleed to death, walking up a mountain. But now the way for you to become a millionaire is just a few clicks on a laptop. Things change depending on what's going on in your environment. So depending on what's going on in your environment, things are going to change. So just because you're like, oh my God, I feel like for you, pile number 2, okay? When you're a hard worker, pile number 2 is what I'm getting based off of the cards that I got for you. Some of you might be children of immigrants, right? And maybe you saw your father or your grandfather or your mother or your grandmother work their butts off to get whatever they had. So then you're like, I feel guilty that my mom had to work so hard, and my grandpa had to work so hard, and my grandfather, my grandma, whatever. And things seem to be so much easier now, right? So you feel like the only way for you to become a millionaire is to bust your butt, right? Maybe your mom was a single mother, and you're maybe the only way for you to be is for you to bust your butt and work hard and grunt and suffer through the same things your ancestors suffered through in order for you to be worthy of what you are receiving. But your ancestors already suffered for you so that you don't have to suffer. All you need to do is heal energetically the suffering that they went through by you becoming better than you, having a better life than they did. Okay? And that entails, maybe you need to work, remember I said you need to work smarter, not harder. Maybe that entails you becoming a millionaire on a laptop in the Bahamas sipping on a pina colada, then you becoming a millionaire doing hair, head after head after head. Maybe maybe your mom did hair, right? And your mom was a single mother, and you saw her, work from sun up to sundown, doing hair every single day, doing one person at a time, and here the mysteries are channeling, so I'm just gonna let them talk, y'all. Maybe you saw your mom doing hair from sun up to sundown, and you're blah, over and over and over, and she would be exhausted, and she would be and you would be oh my God, that's what work really is. That's what we need to do to be able to become a millionaire. That's what we need to do. My mom worked hard, so I have to work hard to get there. What is to say that maybe your job isn't to be you know what, my mom worked hard and I learned from all the hard work that she did. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create a system where people can get the same results by buying this product from me, so that I don't have to do 100,000 heads in order to become a millionaire like my mom did. Okay? Maybe I take the information from my mom and I create a system or create a product or a course that teaches other people how to do this, or create a product that gives people the same results at home so that they can do their own hair and I don't have to do 1,000 heads like my mom did to get there. Do you get what I'm saying? That's working smarter rather than harder. It's taking that knowledge from your ancestors and innovating and evolutionizing it. I don't know if that's a word, but evolving it. That's what I wanted to say. Evolving it so that you don't have to work as hard, you work smarter, and you're still continuing your mother's legacy, your father's legacy, your grandfather's, whatever it is. Or, building whatever business it is that you want to do. Got it? Pound number 2? All right, I'm done ranting now. I should say channeling, not ranting. All right, let's go ahead. Pound number 2, if you'd like to book a reading with me and have something, a reading that is more specific to your situation, because like I said, readings are general, you can book a reading on highpriestessmay.com. And if you feel that you have spiritual issues that you need to resolve, if you have spiritual issues and you need spiritual tissues, book a consultation. Let's go, pound number 3. Because I have other work today, y'all. I've had work from sun up to sundown. Let's see. Oh, what were the cards? Oh my goodness. I thought I showed them. I didn't. Did I not show them? Oh, you're gonna have to go back and watch the replay, my dear. Pound number 3. Pound number 3, you got the devil. Okay, so let's see what this devil has to say. We're not channeling him, but we're gonna channel what spirit wants to say about this devil. Okay. Pound number 2, I feel like your most blocked shot. I'm sorry, pound number 3. So I think this might apply to people who pick pound number 2 as well, because I just said pound number 2 accidentally. Pound number 3. What I feel like is blocking, the area that is most blocked for you is your sacral. Pound number 3, I feel like you might have experienced sexual trauma and you are blocked by this sexual trauma. You may also be blocked by some guilt as well, some shame. I think you are also blocked by parental trauma. Maybe trauma connected to your parents, okay? That is causing you to have shut down your sacral. I feel like some of you are carrying your parents' guilt. Some of you are carrying generational curses. So pound number 3, I think your biggest issue is generational curses, which are leading to addictions, parental trauma, maybe even sexual trauma. But Spirit wants you to know that you can set yourself free from this. This is an illusion, and so in it blocking you, it's connected both to your third eye, and so it's like it's got your third eye and it's got your sacral kind of blocked together, and it has to do a lot with. So like I said before, in voodoo, the beings that rule the sacral are beings that have to do with cemetery, but also with water, because the cemetery is believed to be, in voodoo, in some voodoo circles, the cemetery is believed to be a realm that is like an entryway to a realm that is underwater, that is our heaven, okay? Because we are very much connected to the water spirits. So the cemetery spirits and the water spirits are very interconnected. Okay, so in voodoo, the beings that can help with healing the sacral can be beings like the Gedeses, the Barons, the Gedelias, the Baronessas, the Taino water spirits, Yemaya, mermaid spirits, all those kinds of water spirits. I forgot to mention too for the solar plexus that like Oshun would be somebody that's connected to the solar plexus. Now the 7 African powers, which are the 7 Orisha in the 21 divisions, are they have slightly different work in 21 divisions than they do in other practices, because 21 divisions is more voodoo based, whereas Ifa and Lukumi and like those other practices of the Orishas are specifically Orisha based. But I digress to say that the Orisha also have a chakra that they rule, a different chakra that they rule, based on my research. So maybe I'll share that in another video. But anyway, in terms of the beings in the 21 divisions, who I would pray to and ask for them to assist you with would be the barons, the baronesses, the gereses, the gerelias, the Taino water spirits, and the mermaid spirits, water spirits. Okay, so sacral. All right, let's go ahead and ask Spirit, can I please have a card for the root chakra of the pile number 3? Okay. Pile number 3. Okay, ancestral for the root. So I'm getting, you got the 10 of coins for the root, pile number 3. You got the 8 of wands for the sacral. Oh, this is making so much sense. Okay. You got, for the solar plexus, you have the 2 of cups. For the heart, you have the 3 of pentacles. For the throat, you got the Queen of Pentacles. For the third eye, you got the Knight of Rods, but it's upside down. So is the Queen of Pentacles. She's upside down as well. And then for the crown, pile number 3, you got the 5 of wands. Bottom of the deck, 3 of wands. Okay. All right. Your root. What do you need in order for your root to be balanced? Remember that the root is blocked by fear. Now, you actually, pile number 3, I feel like you have a very beautiful connection to your ancestral spirits. And your ancestral spirits, your ancestral like voodoo spirits, or your ancestral Orisha, whatever, you have a very beautiful connection with them. I feel like what your ancestors want to give you, they want you to be very rooted in the tree of life, which is the ancestral tree. They want you to be very rooted. I feel like you're receiving their inheritance, pile number 3. You're receiving the inheritance. So your root chakra is supported by the inheritance of your ancestors. So you have inherited a lot of things from your ancestors. Now, what is blocking your root may be ancestral fears, okay? But what is gonna liberate it is accepting your ancestral inheritance, both spiritually as well as financially. Okay? Because your ancestors want you to be wealthy. Your ancestors are telling me, the energy of the ancestral realm is telling me for you, pile number 3, that your ancestors want you to have wealth. They want you to have security. They want you to have spiritual abundance and physical abundance. So you accepting that abundance and also kind of showing your ancestors, like, look, like, we can be abundant. And any of those ancestors that may feel like they weren't able to be abundant, I feel like they're going to live through you. They're going to live vicariously through you. So your root chakra, the root, which is connected to the ancestral realm, is asking for you, pile number 3, to root yourself in your ancestral inheritance. In your ancestral inheritance, both in the good and to heal the bad. Okay? to root yourself in your ancestral inheritance, both spiritually and financially. Okay? That is what your root chakra is asking of you. In order for you to stand tall, you need to be rooted like a tree. You need to be rooted in your ancestral practices, in loving your ancestral practices, in loving yourself and loving your ancestors, and working deeply with your ancestors, in even if you don't have a good relationship with living family, I feel like your ancestors above that are begging for you to have a deep, deep relationship with them. And that is going to allow you to be rooted in your ancestral wealth. Understanding that any blockages that you come across may be ancestral. Any blockages that you have, pile number 3, Spirit is telling me that any blockages that you encounter are things that your ancestors are trying to get your attention with, right? So if you're like trying to let's say you're trying to buy a home, but you keep hearing these limiting beliefs, you keep speaking these limiting beliefs, and you keep hitting these blockages to buying a home. It's possible that you might have some ancestors that need healing around the idea of being homeowners, that need healing around the idea of like having wealth. Okay? There might be healing and elevation that needs to happen for those ancestors, for them to get in the way, for them to get out of the way to you having that. And this is not saying that your ancestors want bad things for you. It's just that they might not have it in their scope of understanding that that is possible for something that comes from them to have that level of wealth. But there are a lot of your ancestors who do want you to have that wealth, pile number 3. But you may need to deal with the ancestors that need healing first before you can get there. Because I feel like there are some of your ancestors that are like opening the way for you and trying to get you to go somewhere. And then there are some ancestors that are like, no, that's not safe. Like, we don't know what that place is like. We don't know that place. We don't like that place. We don't like the energy of that place. So, and it might be because there might be some ancestral trauma connected to that place that they're like, no. Like, no. Right? So you might be like really excited about moving somewhere, pile number 3, or about being somewhere and growing your wealth somewhere. And you might have some ancestors that are going like, that's not going to work. It didn't work in the past. It turned out bad for us. They start projecting all their fears onto you. So you need to be very careful, pile number 3, that when you are making decisions, that you are listening to your ancestors that are healed when making these decisions, and not your unhealed ancestors. And if you have unhealed ancestors, work on healing them so that you can heal, and so that your bloodline can be purified. Okay? Now, your sacral is blocked by you needing to go to your homeland. So if your ancestors are not originally from the United States, I feel like you need to visit your homeland. If your ancestors are originally from here, then you may need to maybe visit the place where your ancestors come from more often. You may need to travel the world a little bit more. I'm getting that your sacral is blocked by not having a physical connection to your ancestral lands. Okay? Right? So some of you need to visit your ancestral lands. Some of you may need to do some healing in your ancestral lands. Some of you may need to just travel the world, and that's what's going to help your sacral balance itself and let go of the guilt stuck in there. Okay? Your solar plexus, pile number 3. I feel like it's blocked by soulmate relationships. You have some soulmate soul contracts that need to be fulfilled, and not fulfilling them. Maybe not focusing on relationships as healthy relationships. You need to strengthen healthy relationships. You need to strengthen soulmate relationships. Pile number 3. In order for your solar plexus to have the willpower, okay? To have that willpower to move forward, okay, in a healthy way. You know, today I heard this, and I feel like I'm never gonna unhear it. But I heard that women of color have the most placements in the houses of astrology that have to do with community and sacrifice. And then white women have the most placements in the houses of astrology that have to do with having the most support from their soulmates rather than having support from their family. Okay, so I just thought that was very interesting. Because there's some astrologer, I can't remember her name right now. She found a correlation in astrology to why a lot of white women feel like they have to be married in order to succeed in life, and why black women focus more on community and usually are more single mothers and things like that based on the placements of the planets in the houses. Okay, and I was just like, this is so strange. Because and now this some say I'm gonna say this, don't judge me for this, but the African and indigenous part of me wants to build more community, and then the white part of me just wants to have a really deep relationship just with my spouse, and I don't really care about anybody else. So when I heard that, I was like, so my white ancestors are like influencing me to have a deeper relationship more with my spouse than with like anybody else. And then my African ancestors and my indigenous ancestors are influencing me to build a community of like-minded people. And I was like, I'm like, oh, my headdress is falling off. Excuse me, I have to fix this. But I was like, that is so crazy. When I heard that, I was like, I can't unhear it. I heard this and now I can't unhear it because it makes so much sense, at least for myself personally, as a mixed person. And I was like, wow. Anyway, moving on. So something in you, your solar plexus is asking you to have more soulmate relationships. Pile number 3, to have a deeper soulmate bond. Okay, I feel like this is your motivation to get anything done, is really having a healthy relationship with someone, fulfilling a soul contract with someone romantically or with a soulmate. It doesn't have to be a romantic soulmate, you know. It could be a friend that really feels like a soulmate to you. It could be a sibling that really feels like a soulmate to you. So having this relationship with someone, fulfilling this soul contract with a soulmate energy is really what's motivating you, pile number 3. What's motivating your solar plexus to get things done. Okay, so that also may be what your ancestors are blocking you from in order to get you to do the other things you need to do. So your ancestors might be blocking your solar plexus desire for a soulmate, might be blocking you from getting to this soulmate because they want you to do this first, to break these generational curses first. Because they're like, if you get to this person before you break this, you're going to get distracted by this, and then you're not going to do this. So some of you, not all of you, pile number 3, might have might be experiencing a solar plexus blockage when it comes to soulmate relationships because your ancestors are asking you to your ancestors are expecting for you to break the generational curses. Okay? and for you to focus on getting your bag first, your wealth, your inheritance first before you actually meet this person. But this is the motivation they're using. The motivation they're using, it's like your carrot. The carrot they're using, the motivation that they're using to get you to from point A to point B is this soulmate relationship. Okay. All right. Your heart chakra. Your heart, pile number 3, is asking you to build community. Your heart is asking you to build community. What's going to unblock your heart, pile number 3, is you spreading your love and building community and letting go of grief, okay? So you, pile number 3, might be somebody who is being asked to build some sort of community, who is being guided to build a community, maybe to build a church or a temple or a store or a meeting place, some place where people can get together and share like-minded things, share things that you're interested in, make a difference in the world. So for you, pile number 3, a business that helps other people, that helps people, that a business that is like that is created to help as many people as possible, even a business that employs people, right? So you might be being guided to share your love through sharing your wealth with others, okay? So you might be getting guided to open a business and build a team and share your love by also sharing your wealth with those people that are helping you build your business, or maybe start a nonprofit or open a store that has to do with something that you really like to do that can build a community, or open a temple or a church or whatever. So your heart, pile number 3, is asking you to build a community. It's asking you to build a community, to share your love with a community, okay? To build a physical community. And that is what's going to balance your heart chakra. Maestra Frida can help with this. Archangel Raphael can help with this. The Orisha Oba, who is the Orisha of the home, can help with this. I think. If you practice any other sort of spirituality, such as like Egyptian, Hathor can help with this. I'm trying to think of everybody. Mother Mary can help with this. So it depends on what spiritual practice you practice, but that's what your heart wants. That's what your heart chakra wants. Okay? Your throat. Your throat is the Queen of Pentacles. What lies are you telling yourself about wealth? About money? That's what I'm hearing. Pile number 3. What lies are you telling yourself? What lies are you speaking into existence? Because the Queen of Pentacles is upside down. So this tells me that there is something about the Queen of Pentacles that you refuse to accept as truth. You refuse to accept that you could be wealthy. You refuse to accept that you are the one that your ancestors chose for this wealth, for this inheritance. Your ancestors chose you for this. So it doesn't matter what anybody else says. It doesn't matter whether it didn't work for Sally and Billy and whatever down the road. It's meant to work for you. So whatever it is that you're being guided to build, that your ancestors have given you, whatever power it is your ancestors have given to you, or you have received in an inheritance from your ancestors, they chose you. No matter what anybody else likes to say, they chose you. It's believed that like every person has at least like 200,000 ancestors. So like over 200,000 people chose you to be the one to receive this. So why are you saying that you are not worthy? They measured you. They built you. They created you. They measured you, they weighed you, and they found you worthy. Just like my ancestors measured me and weighed me, and they found that I was the one that was worthy to receive this crown. So I received this because my ancestors found that I was worthy. So why are you, pile number 3, feeling like you have to prove yourself to humans when you have over 200,000 ancestors that already weighed you and measured you and found you worthy? So humans that know nothing cannot override the will of hundreds of thousands of ancestors that decided this descendant is the one that is worthy of our power. This descendant is the one that is worthy of our wealth. This descendant is the one that is worthy of our support. This descendant is the one that is powerful enough to break curses. This descendant is the one that is powerful enough to liberate us. They chose you to liberate them by liberating yourself. Through liberating yourself, you will liberate them. Sorry for the pressure. Stop telling yourself lies about why you're not worthy of this. Why you can't do it. When I would get overwhelmed, when I was younger and I would get overwhelmed about doing this work, I would go, oh my God, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And my ancestors would be like, yes, you can. Otherwise, we wouldn't have chosen you. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You were chosen because you were given a special set of powers to be able to do this. Whatever it is that you are struggling with, you are struggling with it because you were given the power to fix it. You just have to learn, like in a video game, you have to learn how to use the different weapons for different missions. You just have to learn how to use the weapons in your arsenal. You just have to learn how to use the tools in your arsenal for different missions that you need to accomplish. Okay? So stop saying that you can't do it. Stop saying that you're not worthy of it. Stop saying that it's not going to happen for you. Yes, it is. It is meant for you. So if it's meant for you, it's going to come for you. You just have to get out of your own way and heal the ancestors that are in your way. The Knight of Wands. What is blocking your third eye is your lack of vision, your lack of action, and your lack of communicating with your spirit guides. Okay? So what's blocking your third eye is your disconnection from your spirit guides, your lack of action in certain things that you need to do. Because if spirit is saying, okay, this is for you, but you need to take these actions, and you're not taking those actions, that's what's blocking the vision from coming to reality. So then you start to fall into an illusion because you're not taking the actions and you're not listening to your spirit guides that you were being told to take by spirit. Okay, you're not seeking wisdom from elders. So it's keeping you in this illusion that it's not going to be for you. Okay? What's blocking your crown is you need to protect your energy. What's blocking your crown, your connection to God, is not protecting your energy. Having some people that, for some of you, pile number 3, it's dark magic. Somebody's doing dark magic on you. Some of you, not all of you. But you need to protect your energy. Spirit is saying you need to protect your energy. For some of you, you may need a crowning. You may need some sort of initiation as well. You may need some sort of crowning that is keeping you disconnected from God. Okay? You need to protect your head for some of you. You need to cover your head. Protect your head from certain energies. Okay? So that is, you may need to work with the pentagram to protect yourself. Pile number 3. Your crown chakra is getting attacked, some of you by dark magic. For some of you, this may have to do with a earth sign. Somebody who is doing this dark magic on you, they could be an earth sign female, so they might be a Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. And then there is also a fire sign male, so they would be a Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius male. Okay? They might be sending negative energy your way, or they might be doing witchcraft against you. You need to protect your crown. Okay? You need to protect your crown. There's spiritual conflict as well that is blocking your crown energy. There are some spiritual attachments for some of you. There's some negative energy attachments that are blocking your crown for some of you. Spirit is saying you need to bring focus back into your crown chakra. Okay? You might need to work with the fire energy, the energy of fire, to purify your space. So you may need to burn some candles and ask your spirit guides to clear your space. Ask your angels to clear your space. You may need to rub a candle around your head to absorb all the negative energy, and then burn that candle. Okay? Because you have some psychic attacks going on here. Not all of you, but some of you. Okay? For some of you, it's a maternal figure that's blocking your throat chakra, because she is speaking negatively about you and manifesting negative things into your life. And I feel like it's a maternal figure for some of you. Not all of you, just some of you. So they're showing me here that you need fire. Some of you need all 5 elements. Some of you need fire to purify. And what I mean by fire is using a candle to burn away the negative energy. Just rubbing the candle on yourself and then lighting it. Don't light it before you rub it. Lighting the candle on yourself and then burning it. Okay? You might need to do a return to sender. Okay? Pile number 3. If you have concerns about magic being wielded against you, you can book a consultation with me, and my spirits and I can do a consultation and see what's going on and give you recommendations. Okay? But anyway, you now know what you need to do to raise your vibration. Activate all of the energy centers in your body so that you can have flow in your life and build a prosperous and healthy life for yourself and your descendants and your ancestors. So all you got to do now is just take action on the things that Spirit has recommended that you feel resonate with you. Okay? Okay. So you can light a candle to Archangel Michael or Belial-Bekan. You can to help with any kind of like attacks to the crown chakra. Like I said before, Belial-Bekan energy, Damballa energy, Archangel Michael energy, that is connected to it's connected to both fire. Well, Archangel Michael is connected to fire energy, and so is Belial, but they also work with the crown. Yes, you can wait till whenever it's possible. In the meantime, take some spiritual baths to clear off some of that energy, and burn a candle to Archangel Michael or Belial to help remove any negative energy that is being sent your way. And then if you still feel like you need help, you know where to find me. You can book a consultation at highpriestessmay.com. Okay? For those of you who feel that somebody doing dark magic on you resonates, then you know what to do. Okay? All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. If you would like to book a reading with me, you can do so on highpriestessmay.com. Now, keep in mind, I did talk a lot on this video about the people of color community, but this video, what I was talking about can really apply to any person of any ethnicity. But I wanted to focus on the people of color because that's where my spiritual practice kind of comes from. But we also help people of any ethnicity. I can help anyone of any ethnicity. So, but that is at the beginning of the video. I will post a replay, God willing, and then you'll be able to play the replay where we talk about how Eastern medicine and voodoo are able to be intertwined in the healing process of ourselves and our ancestors. Many blessings. Gracias, misericordia.